This is my patio. Right now, I'm not looking at the computer, almost like camera, computer. I don't plan to. And I really don't want to respond to questions right now. I'll eventually do shows like that. I love how my head's out of frame, and I didn't even do that on purpose. Um, right now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story because it's why I'm recording today. And I think I'm going to continue doing this because a lot of really bizarre shit happens to me. A lot of really cool shit happens to me. And I literally do not leave this area except to mow the lawn. And I used to go down in the creepy shack in the back. Oh, oops, which is there. But it started falling down because of a boy. Let me tell you about this boy, because that's why I'm recording right now. There is a man that I dated for a little while. I fell in love with him, actually. When he said marriage, I said when, essentially. I said, I want to marry you too, were my exact words. He makes it very clear that I did not say when, because apparently that wasn't good enough for him. What he didn't know, because we had only been seeing each other, really it was only the second time we'd ever seen each other in person. It was, we'd been talking off and on for months, several months. During that time, I got to know him a little bit better. And I grew to care about him deeply. I ended up in the hospital, actually. I self-admitted because I thought that I was leaking CSF, which for lay people, it doesn't really matter. Essentially, I'm a clinician, and all of the signs and symptoms told me that I needed to go to the hospital, so I went. And while I was in the hospital, he frantically was trying to get there to see me. And my own parents didn't really seem to care that I was in the hospital, potentially because of my brain tumor, which we've known about. I have not treated it because it doesn't need treatment, except for I was showing signs of leaking CSF, so that's a little bit of a concern. So when he was panicked trying to come and see me, suddenly it occurred to me that we had more of a relationship than I even realized. And then I felt like, what the fuck am I doing here? If this is the last day on earth, I'd rather spend it with him. And then we met up in person, and things were not as they seemed. So, the reason that I'm filming right now is that I'm afraid of him. I'm not afraid for my life or anything like that. I am afraid because he is so nice in his actions and cruel in his words. And that man is so not self-aware that it makes me worry that he's got narcissistic personality disorder, which I've never even said to him because it's pointless, because they'll never realize that they have it. By the way, there's black all over my hands, and I'm going to show you. That's soot. So at this point in time, I have to go grab something. I'm not going to edit these videos right now because I don't feel the need to. And because I want to show you how I see God. So, how was I to know that this little grape thing, wood grape, would match perfectly on the one side but not the other? Oh, and there's the kerfufflery. See, I didn't know that it would or wouldn't, and I don't really care either way. All I care about right now is building me this little fire that I've been trying to build, or I have been building whenever he's not here, for a couple weeks now. When he is here, I spend time with him, talking, cuddling, normal couple stuff. So imagine my surprise when he accuses me of having sexual relations with other people, calling me a whore often. He's made me cry every time he's left. Not just because of the mean things that he says, but because he steals things from me. I carried this thing around, starting campfires all over my property for the first month and a half that we dated. We didn't live together or anything, but every time he was here, he saw me at this little thing. He took it and told me that he had pulverized it, which I watched him do that to other things. So I believe that he could have taken this entire thing apart and made sure that it was never going to be put together again. And I cried all night long. And I'm not embarrassed to admit that. I do feel a little bit of shame with that because I shouldn't have let him get to me. Here's the problem. Why would somebody do that to somebody else? Right? Like, why would somebody feel the need to even say that, let alone actually steal it from my property and have it gone for days, accusing me of stealing things from him? And I pointed out to him several times, you left my property with my belongings. I still have not called you a thief, which you are one, by the way. And yet still, you have not returned all of my belongings, and I would like them back. I don't feel like that's even I feel like as far as the realm of reasonable, I've been that. And by the way, guys, this is real life. Did you know that? Do you know that we're not in a video game? We're not in La La Land. This is real life. This, even as I say it, and by the way, I have to do that because I keep spiraling out of control and feeling like I'm somebody else and forgetting who I am and all of the things that are going on. And like right now, I'm talking to you instead of working. So I need to get back to work. All of this is because a child wasn't loved enough by his mother, according to him. I think he's a spoiled, pretentious brat. I think he was probably given everything he fucking wanted and never was good enough for him. I think he's stupid. I think he's malicious, ignorant, racist, childish, hurtful, abusive by nature, which abuse does not start with the punching. It starts with the words. So I'm not going to sit here and throw him under the bus anymore because we all are imperfect. God loves each of us as we are, which is perfectly imperfect. So just like how I fucked this up, not really though, because you're probably seeing, well, barely anything, really. Oops. Oh, by the way, that's a gift he gave me, and yeah, I could give two shits less at this point. I don't care anymore. I stopped caring when I realized that his problem, above all else, was that he was so addicted to drugs that he'd rather keep arguing with me than get sober and be a good boyfriend. That to me is kind of a no-brainer. Like at that point, yes, Mom, I sound just like you. At that point, it's a no-brainer. I ain't it. If I was, you'd probably want to do better things with your life. You'd probably want to be a good grandfather. You'd probably be trying to work for money and for a house instead of for more drugs. You'd probably give a shit about the fact that your drug screen was positive at your probation office twice now, that you're on color code and you're supposed to be calling every day, which used to give me panic attacks. And I told my probation officer, and he was very understanding because he had witnessed several panic attacks in his office, yet still violated me for things. And then I had a new probation officer, which I imagine means they were like, dude, like, really, did you have to? Because you just gave us extra work. And, you know, this chick ain't out there doing anything, which is true. I literally am agoraphobic now, which if you don't know what that means, it means that just leaving this house causes me so much anxiety. Usually I have to be medicated or so tired or so distracted that I get in the car not thinking about what I'm doing, and then as we start to drive off, I start freaking the fuck out. My father put up with it enough times that I can do it now, and we can do a Sunday morning brunch, and I can leave the house. I've said it out loud to other people, but having to say it like publicly kind of freaks me out a little bit. Because I used to watch Shameless in England when I lived there. And I thought, that must be terrifying. If you can't even leave your house. So, the point of all of this is, right now I'm recording, and I might say some crazy shit. I might think things are real that are not. And for the people who are bullies and who end up thinking, what is wrong with this crazy chick? A lot. I was raped violently in my home, in that room right there, which I have not gone into in a while now, because I haven't had to. Every time I go in there, I get dizzy and confused. But it gets better, by the way. So for the clinicians who are like, you need help. I know. I got it. We're good. And last time I went to the hospital, they said I was fine. So, thanks, but no thanks. Right now, what I'm doing is creating this little miniature fire pit outside, even though that's an indoor grate because it's cast iron and it's rusting, as you can see. But if I know where it is, then I know he can't take it. And if he does take it, I know where it's gone. Because who else would come and steal something so insignificant in my yard? Which, by the way, the rest of it does look immaculate right now because I do also have clinically diagnosed obsessive compulsive disorder, which is a precursor to agoraphobia, my understanding. Because you become so overwhelmed with the anxiety of what could happen that you can't go. Can't do this, can't do that. And you end up missing out on life because of the what if. So today, I am taking a stand. I never understood how to do this thing, which, by the way, if you do know how to do this, please tell me. Because it's got like this little, this little thing that you like pop up, and then I guess you're supposed to put something in there, and then when it falls down, that means that the fire's going, and then you're supposed to put the logs on. I don't know how to do it. I just explained it, but I still have never figured it out, and that's one part of this process that's been intriguing to me because it seems so simple, and yet it's impossible. Such is life. So, mothers, please love your children, especially if you have them still, as I do not have mine. I'm just going to do this fire. Sorry, I'm thinking about 3 different things at once. I think I'm just going to do this fire the way I normally do mine, and then hopefully it'll start. Anyway, in the 4 p.m. rule, by the way, guys, that's only during the dry months. I worked at Shenandoah National Park. Please stop educating me on things I already know about, because then I have to educate you, and I don't do that. I don't do it. Because sometimes you educate somebody, and they get a little butthurt about it, and then they have somebody come and rape you. I don't know. That's my paranoia. Yes, clinicians. But this is also very cathartic. Now I'm not talking to you normal people anymore. I'm talking to people who know what cathartic is. It's nice to be able to take a break and to just get out and experience nature, especially if it's in my own home. And when wearing my friend Amanda's bright blue pants that she says I sold. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And then I'm like, are you crazy or high or what the fuck is going on right now? I don't know, maybe all of the above. She has PTSD as well. It's hard being friends with other people with PTSD, but it helps. I'm dizzy. Whew. It's gone. Whew. I think I turned bright red with that one. No, I didn't. Okay. Sometimes I have histamine reactions and don't realize it. Sometimes I pass out and wake up a day later when my dad comes check on me because I haven't answered text messages. I live alone, and any single woman has probably been afraid of taking a shower and she slips and falls and the water keeps running, and then when they find your body, not only are you dead and naked, but you're fat because the water is absorbed. If anybody hasn't thought that, you need to think about it. Make sure that when you shower, somebody knows that you're taking a shower, and this might be the last one. I remember I used to text people that when I wasn't disordered, I was just OCD type. I know I brought, oh, there. See, I can't even remember things. It's literally right behind the computer because I brought the computer out when I did that. So I have memory lapses, all of that. Am I trying? Yes, you can probably see my armpit hair. I don't care. Am I trying to make this man feel bad? No. I am not antagonizing this man. I am in no way wanting reconciliation, though, either. Which I don't know if you know what that means. I don't want to get back together. This is it. This is my public service announcement for Robin. We are not getting back together ever, ever, ever. Thank you, Taylor Swift. This is also a wake-up call to any young woman who might be watching this, who thinks her friend stole all of her belongings. And I'm like, you just left them here. I literally have them in a closet. And then I was looking at these blue pants, and I was like, I'm going to put those on. They look good on me, so fuck you. And I'm getting soot all over them. I don't care. You accused me of shit. And then told everybody I was a slut. And I'm like, what? And then your boyfriend came over here, and he thought I was a slut, and he thought I was going to slut it up with him. And I was like, no. He's like, oh. And I was like, this is awkward. He was like, yeah, this is really awkward. I was like, yeah, I'm a doctor. He was like, no shit. I was like, yeah, I'll pull out my coat right the fuck now. This is a call to young women who are like, that could be me one day. Unfortunately, yes, this could be you one day, but also, yes, you can be a doctor and still have feelings. What? Also, did you know that doctors have families? Yeah. Because they're probably the best individual you've ever met in your entire life. And you're like, damn, that's a good, upstanding guy. I wish that he was my best friend. And then you make him your best friend. And you're like, damn, I just love him so much. And then guess what the fuck he becomes? A rich-ass doctor motherfucker who also shares his money with you and takes you, there's a lot of losses. There's only 2 losses. Takes you, to wherever the fuck his summer home is and shit after, paying back all of the student loans and bullshit. Because that's who a doctor is. You're welcome. I just educated you. So little girls, yes, it still feels the same when you grow up and a boy breaks up with you. It still hurts. It gets scarier as you get older because boys get bigger and stronger. So all little girls, whether you're smart or stupid or whatever the fuck, and I'm saying that on purpose, don't fuck around with their heads. Yeah, I know you might not be smart, but you don't have to fuck with his head just because you gotta show your dominance. Because that's what creates the abusive assholes. I created one. I know I did. Right here. Which, by the way, he's not an asshole. I mean, he kind of is, but he's not. He's an honorable asshole, so I will never say a bad word about him, and I never have. Really. No, I don't think I ever have. I just said facts, and was like, and, so I was done. But I fucked with his head. And so he became a disturbed individual. All I did was just not call him back, but that really will drive you crazy. I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. I'm on his side on this one now. I think I put the little bundle in the back where I light it. Yeah, that's probably it. I'm sorry, little guys, but you better climb out of there because you're sleeping and you're going to die in a minute. Somebody said to me one time, oh, you're that kind of smart. You're like, you could sit here and probably draw the rain molecule, but then when I'm like, yeah, but you're getting wet, you'd still be standing outside and I'd be able to keep you locked out because you wouldn't be able to figure out how to get in. And I was like, that is exactly what the fuck I am. And he was like, yeah, I've met a few of you. And I was like, oh, really, have you? And then he told me why and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think this is what I do. Yeah. So I'm going to do this, and then when I hear it slam, then I know. Then it's all good and whatever. I don't know. Somebody can correct me on this one. Because I always do this in my little fire pit that I've made. I'm going to have to redo that because I did accidentally destroy it this morning. All those bricks broke last night during the argument of a lifetime, which was I made dinner and he figured out that I am a good woman with good looks who cooks and cleans. And since Eminem said that that's not possible, apparently, it made him lose his goddamn mind. So, Eminem, this one's on you. Just kidding. But also, I love you and please come and see me because I'm agoraphobic and I can't come see you. I bet he's watching this video right now. I can't really see this far. Anyway. I just wish everybody would be nicer to each other. My fucking husband won't let me see my kids because he's a jackass. I can say that about him because he promised. Also, I specialize in early childhood development. So anybody who watches this and who hasn't decided I'm a stupid whore for whatever fucking reason, I'm sorry if you're jealous. No, but if you're a clinician, you're really not jealous. You're really like, oh, look, it's one of me. Roo. Rah, rah. I don't know. I'm trying to remember where my lighter is. All right. I gotta go find my lighter. I'm gonna stop this thing now. I'm gonna come right back. You can see more moments in my life. But I'm gonna show you one last thing. My arms. I made sure that I wore that as big as possible just so that you might have noticed it. But then some of you might not. There is a very noted scar right there, which I don't even know really comes across in the camera because both sides look a little dark to me. This one's actually kind of red right now because it's old. But I mean, I'm happy to show it to you. I tried to kill myself by shooting up. My endocrinologist and I agree that I actually figured out a cure for depression. So, hey, if you are planning on offing yourself, which I'm not saying that this will cure depression because that's where she and I were kind of like, eh. And she was like, you're not going to be able to get a grant written for it. But if you do, I'll co-sign it for you. And I was like, sweet. Like, that's literally all I would need to do this. And she was like, you're not going to get a grant for it. And also, this is UVA. And I'm really sorry, but you're not going to get a grant for it. But you're brilliant. You actually, fucked yourself over really good there by curing suicidal depression. And she sat there for a second. She goes, all right, I gotta get back to work, get out of my office. And I was like, cool, bye. Endocrinologist that I have to see because I'm hypoglycemic. Oh yeah, I keep hoping that a clinician is actually gonna watch this and care enough to be like, wait, that's a really rare disorder. Why would you be hypoglycemic? And why would that have sudden onset after your second child and depression and da-da-da? Yeah, me too. Trying to figure it out. I think it also has something to do with having anesthesia postpartum, immediately postpartum. And I have PTSD from near fetal demise and maternal demise during my first son's birth. And yes, all you stupid bitches, yes, I've had 2 babies. I'm not making that up. I know I'm skinny. It's called anorexia nervosa. And I'm not body dysmorphic. I'm actually eat a fucking cookie. So, I'm going to go now. I'm stalling because I feel like as soon as I turn this off, he's going to pull up. And normally he's on his riding mower because, yes, he lives that close, unfortunately. And, yes, it's funny. And, yes, I liked it when we were together and things were going well. I thought it was really romantic and stuff. He would literally pick me up and carry me in the house. He's a great man. Horrible at relationships. Also possibly narcissistic personality disorder, but I'm not going to diagnose that. But since I was diagnosed altruistic personality disorder, it makes sense. And again, I'm a clinician. I like talking to you guys better than anybody else because you guys make fucking sense. We're a rare breed. I tried to explain to one man, I was like, okay, so I know you really wanted to take me out, but you keep going over to my house and it's scaring me and stuff. So let me show you something. Everybody else is in this line. And I stepped out. So evolutionarily speaking, I'm actually an anomaly and I'm really, 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 really not good for mating purposes. And I actually said that to him, man. He was like, every time you talk, you get cuter. And I was like, God damn it, he's not listening to me. He's just looking at my fucking face. This is a headband, by the way. It's the best invention ever because it's also kind of like a neck scarf and it wipes my sweat away sometimes. Guys, come play with me. It's boring out here sometimes. Only when I'm scared of getting attacked by a giant man who's very attractive. his very nice shoulders, and he's always like, roll this rope up because he knew that I liked his shoulders, and so like forever he was like, oh, look at this thing. I gotta like, ugh. And the way that he would do it, I'd be like, is he really doing that right now? I mean, I'm also gonna sit here and watch it, but is he really doing that right now? When I had to call the cops on him the other night, the police were like, is this like the 7th guy you've driven insane? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they were like, I don't know either. And I was like, I don't get it either, right? Like, that's why I was like, suddenly I was like, oh, wait, you guys are on my side. Like, you get that there's nothing to get here. Like, I don't have beer flavored tits. And I'm a crazy lady, and I live by myself and don't go anywhere. So how the fuck are these men finding me? Just because of Eddie, actually, but I love Eddie. I don't want to talk about Eddie. He's in jail right now. Eddie's my pansexual husband. He's not really into me at all, and he thinks I'm gross, but I made him live with me for a little bit because I was lonely. And he adored it. And he would run around in his underwear, and he knew that I had no interest in him at all, but we danced a lot, and it was fun. I'm sorry, Eddie. I just told on us. Your music is so bad. Mine is way better. I'm in a really good state right now. I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to braid this up. I'm going to go inside and hide for a minute while I, braid it up. Oh, and I'm also going to start a fire. So watch the next video and like and subscribe if you like sitting here watching me. I know I'm really popular in Germany because you guys are probably like, I don't give a flying fuck what you're talking about. I'm masturbating right now. You're welcome. Yeah.